Hi, I'm Jessica Sabatini.
And I'm Catherine Phillips.
And we would love to talk to you about the We Rise Together movement.
We're hoping that this movement will provide the support, encouragement, tools, and community that people need to help actualize their deepest visions to create a more beautiful world.
We are in a very powerful time in human history. There's huge paradigm shifts going on. Old paradigms are crumbling, and new ways of being are beginning to emerge and gain some momentum. And we are really inspired by this and feel called to reach out to those around us and really helping these new paradigms get a foothold in our world.
And we've noticed, and we've struggled with this within ourselves, that because of the number of challenges that we're facing, political challenges, economic challenges, environmental challenges, that a lot of people are struggling with feelings of hopelessness, are struggling with feelings of fear, are struggling with feelings of disempowerment, are feeling maybe alienated from their abilities to make change in the world, and not really sure how to get out of that space.
There seems to be kind of a revealing of structures that are in place and these limiting paths. There's this way, this structure that's been put in place, and you're on the outside of it. And you have to follow a certain set of rules to even make an impact, to be a part of this structure, to help make change. And we really believe that there is another way, and that people are starting to find other ways of owning their own power and figuring out how to not feel left out in the cold anymore, and not feel worthy of participating and to getting their energy and vision out into the world.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people in recent years have been doing a lot of individual work, like a lot of healing work, a lot of getting in touch with their emotional world, getting in touch with their inner world in other kinds of ways, and maybe even getting to a place where you have a really firm sense within yourself of who you are and what tools you have to bring to the world, and even maybe a really clear vision of who you want to be or what you want to do to make the world a more beautiful place. But for one reason or another, you haven't been able to actually take the needed steps to bring that, to kind of ground those visions and make them real.
We've even noticed within ourselves in our own history, creating this beautiful vision, getting this moment of clarity, and I feel this beautiful vision, and it feels so great to think about it, and just sitting like, look at this lovely warm pink bubble that I'm surrounding myself with, and I'm sitting in, and it feels so good, and but then taking that vision and actually how do I bring my values, bring my vision out into the world and into my daily life. And often our own limiting beliefs or doubts come up, or when you start to talk about it, articulate it with others, to find your community, they start saying, no, that's not the way it works, and it's not going to happen, and start kind of squashing it. Or you might then start trying to mold it into this dictated way of how it needs to be executed, and losing the essence of it. And we really believe that it's important that we find ways to support each other in applying these values to your daily life, and being able to see it show up in your world, and that the world really needs these visions of what is possible, of a healed planet, of communities that have freedom and respect and health for all. And it's really needed right now. And the old systems that have been in place for a long time are not serving what the world needs right now.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the tension comes from the tension in this old way being or doing or trying to do good things in the world comes from this place of really not understanding ideals and how ideals work and how they manifest in reality, right? Is that as an idealist, I can say that I have spent most of my life struggling to find these ideals that I was longing for in myself or in the world, and constantly feeling like the world or myself or other people were just kind of crapping on whatever this beautiful thing was that I wanted to, that I could see it. But ideals don't take shape because we force them, right? We sort of will them forward. They don't take shape and become real because we get rid of the messiness in the world or ignore the messiness in the world or trying to create these spaces where there isn't messiness in the world. Ideals really manifest when you finally accept everything about the reality of what is in the world and within yourself, and then that makes space for these beautiful visions to really bubble up. But that's a much more organic, messy, fluid, mysterious process, and a lot less linear, a lot less will-driven. And we live in a world that likes linear and likes will-drivenness. And so we have to find ways to transition to operating in this different way, to living life in this different way. And that's really challenging, presents lots of challenges.
For example, perhaps world peace or peace is something that's a huge value for you, and it's something you feel called to take action around, to participate in this world. And maybe you want to create some sort of nonprofit that really supports that. And then you think, oh, okay, now I need to figure out the system, and I need to take these steps and sacrifice all sorts of things in my life in order to really go after that. And we have music playing in the background for the end of this video, and you are expected and rewarded by focusing down and ignoring perhaps relationships or your health and sacrificing these other areas of your life in order to move away from those so you can move forward towards something in this very structured A plus B to equal C to make it happen.
Yeah. So, like, can I interject one thing?
Yes.
So, like, you want to create world peace, and so you create an organization to create world peace, and then you plow forward with your vision of world peace,
and in
a non-peaceful way.
But a more feminine, evolved way of approaching this would be, okay, I want this. Now how do I create the peace in myself? And tomorrow, right now, today, we can do that today. We can work on that today. And then expanding out into creating peace in my home, in my family, in my community, and how that ripples out. And it builds upon each other so it can really expand and multiply versus moving from A to B in a very straight wedge forward kind of aspect of things.
And when you're living life in this way, like, so you're sort of starting with doing the inner work and then moving outward in these kind of circles, is that if you do finally get to this place where you do have some organization that is dedicated to world peace in some way, it's going to be an organization that's going to come from a deeply authentic place within yourself, that's going to be integrated with your deepest values, and that the culture and just the feel of the organization is going to be totally different because it's going to be coming from a different place within yourself. And that gives it a much greater power to achieve its mission. And they're all, as you mentioned, like, along the way, this whole journey along the way to get to that space, instead of it being this kind of violent-ish sort of journey that doesn't care who's being harmed along the way, including yourself. It's
usually yourself
the most, right? Because you're sort of not taking care of yourself. Instead of that, when you're coming from this other place of doing things, like, there are just going to be all of these beautiful ripple effects and impacts that you will never even know about as you do the work.
It takes stepping out in trust. And it takes really getting clear and prioritizing. So with the We Rise Together movement, we are providing and creating tools, new tools, new supportive communities, new ways of encouraging and uplifting in this manner. Uh, it's hard because this masculine linear structure is so ingrained in us, in our minds, in our society, that it's a really challenge to break from that and try something new. We really need the support of each other. Even in working on this project, we have recognized in ourselves when that judgment that I need to get in line has come up, and to catch ourselves and to have someone else there to support in that of, okay, I'm really going to embrace this way of creating and this way of getting my energy out into the world around us.
And that's been just amazingly beneficial to have a partner who is a safe space where you can do this work of really trying to live more authentically.
To be vulnerable and powerful.
Yeah, at the same
time. And to
time.
know that they can go together.
Right, yeah, and that we aren't threatened by each other's power, and we're not scared of each other's vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
And we, shortly after, or in mid-November of 2016, I was at a women's group, and there were lots of women who were expressing feelings of disappointment and hopelessness and frustration, and the thought just came to me that women don't rise in the singular, we rise in the collective. And so that was really the kind of the moment of shifting my focus, I think, in us coming together and shifting our focus from like helping individuals do this work and helping individuals get in touch with their deeper selves and be more empowered, to how can we create collectives, how can we create communities and partnerships that will provide the support that's really needed for this feminine power to rise, because we can't do it alone. We just can't. We have to find and integrate those tools of relating, really.
And the group has such an incredible power. There is a mysterious, mystical, almost magical aspect of groups coming together and joining their power. It's not, it doesn't add, it multiplies. It becomes exponential. So with the We Rise Together movement, what we are providing is a place to clarify and prioritize your values and visions. There might be a lot of things that you care about, but how do you choose what is yours to do? What is your place to put your energy, and how to see what that vision really can be, a vision that you can believe in.
And we're also going to help you identify and clear the major internal blockages that have kept you from taking action steps on your vision in the past, be it fear, be it doubt, be it whatever beliefs in the impossibility of your vision. Whatever it is, we're going to help you really hone in on what those are and give you tools to clear them so that you can take grounded action steps.
And then also the tools and support to keep taking these grounded action steps, to take those visions and figure out how to really make them show up in the world, to show up in your daily life tomorrow, today, the next day, to be able to see it, to feel it, and to also, how do I bring it into a bigger arena and really allow it to give it the honor and respect to make the impact that I really have to.
Because the world really needs us right now.
Yeah.
Desperately needs us right now, and desperately needs us to figure out how to bring our kind of best versions of ourselves out into the world. And these visions aren't here by accident. They aren't within us by accident. They're here because they want to be born in the world in some way. And we're here to help you and support you to do that.
We're all called to be brave right now. It's not a time for getting to sit back and just be comfortable and not think about what really matters to us. It's really a time to honor what really matters most, and to find the places and the people where we can honor those things that mean the most to us and can feel that connection. So we are delighted to have you join us and to be a part of this journey.
Thank you very much.